Hey guys, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Hope you guys are doing well. I parked in. It's Friday at 5:06. And I just got out. I parked in a very different spot today in the parking garage, and the reason for it was because I just kind of felt like it. I just chose to this day. So yeah, I guess we'll see where I happen to park on Monday. So you'll have to stay tuned. But yeah, it's Friday, just got out. Work week is officially over. Pretty good week. A lot of good times this week, and also a good amount of challenging times, which are really just even more good times in disguise. So yeah, good week at the office. Just slowly getting better, day by day, week by week. So yeah, all is good. All is good. Was pretty occupied today. So again, I wasn't really able to conjure up much that I could toss at you guys today, but it's all good. So I guess it'll just be a little bit of one of those just wing it days. Just throw a few little things out there and just take a big swing on them, and yeah, just see where it goes. Just wing it. So it'll be one of those days. My brain could kind of use a little bit of a break too, so maybe this is the better way to go, at least for today. Yeah, so my week was good. Hope your guys' week was also good. I guess to give you guys a few more updates. TikTok should be up tonight. New TikTok should be up tonight. Nearly done with it. It's looking pretty good. I'm happy with how it's come out so far. So it might just make some final little tweaks and whatnots to it, but expect it to be out tonight. Also expect me to look a little different on Monday. I have a haircut appointment for Saturday. Still haven't really decided if I'm gonna kind of keep it long, kind of like this, or just go much shorter. So again, you'll have to stay tuned for Monday's video and find out where exactly I park and what my hair is gonna look like and what I'm gonna look like. So yeah, those are my updates for you guys. I made a little switch up in my my routine that I have in the mornings. What I like to do is, obviously on my way home from work, I make these videos, but on my way to work, I listen to podcasts. That's what I do. That's my thing. That's kind of what I've made into my habit. But what I did today was I didn't listen to a podcast and I didn't listen to music. I literally just kind of drove in silence to work today. And my reasoning behind that was because there's this concept that I heard. If you can take a wild guess of where I heard it, you'd be correct in that I heard it on TikTok. But I saw this thing on TikTok a while ago, and it said that there's 3 S's in life. There's sweat, sunlight, and silence. It said if you can achieve all 3 of those things every single day, then 99% of all your problems could be solved. And that resonated a lot with me because it actually happened to be what I was doing at the time. This was after I graduated and before I started working, so I was kind of in like no man's land in a way, kind of just living, you know. Didn't have work, didn't have school, didn't have to worry about school or sports or anything like that. Like, was just kind of there, just waiting for work to start. So what I wanted to do was to, you know, at least while I have plenty of free time at home, you know, my days are all totally open, I would at least make some good habits to do on a daily basis. And one of them would be to exercise every day. So either go to the gym or run. That's what I like to do. And then on top of that, just stretch and get 10,000 steps every day. And then the other is to get sunlight and also ground. So really just take my bare feet and put them in some grass for ideally 30 minutes. And, you know, you do that while sunbathing. So ground and sun is my other thing. And then my third thing is to either read, listen to a podcast, or, you know, ideally both in the same day. Those are my three things that I made for myself to do. You know, exercise, get sunlight and ground myself, and read and or listen to a podcast every day. And I saw this TikTok back when I was still waiting for work to start, and, you know, it said, you know, get 3 S's in your life every day and 99% of your problems will be solved: sweat, sunlight, and silence. And what I really liked about it was because it was kind of what I was already doing by complete coincidence. And you know, just even before seeing that TikTok, I was already in a very good place, very peaceful, pure place in my mind, in my world. So seeing that just kind of reinforced it. And so going back to what I was beginning to tell you guys is, so, you know, before I drove to work this morning, I was kind of having some inner conversations in my head, and I was thinking that, you know, I'm getting my sweat on every day, so that's good. I'm trying to get my sunlight every day. I'm able to do it most days of the week, so again, that's good. And I'm able to find a little bit of silence throughout the day, particularly early in the morning and at night, right before I go to bed. But I was kind of looking for more pockets of, say, silence during the day, just to, you know, just have nothing buzzing around me, and just be there alone with my thoughts, and listening to my thoughts and my soul, and, you know, just that whole process. So I was thinking of more time pockets during the day where, you know, I can make that happen. And it kind of clicked with me that, you know, and instead of listening to podcasts every day driving to work, you know, if you feel like you need it, you can just kind of drive in silence and raw dog it in a way. So that's what I did this morning, and it honestly worked out pretty well. Just had my normal drive to work, and, you know, no music, no podcast, no like stimulation for my brain and my mind on the way to work. You know, it was really just me and my thoughts, and kind of let that whole natural process happen over the course of around 20 minutes it takes to get to the office. And I liked how it worked out. Had some good thoughts, good reflections, and, you know, just got myself in a very good headspace coming into work today. I think there's something else that I wanted to add on to that, but as always, it's always when I get to this one traffic light that I always lose my train of thought for a second, so I apologize. But, you know, what else did I want to say? Give me a second here. sure I'll come back to it. I can't quite remember, honestly. I don't understand. There's always no one in the office on Friday. And this is like totally off to the side. There's always no one in the office on Friday. And I like to assume it's always that way with most other businesses in the area. But the last week or two, there seemed to be an abnormal amount of traffic on a Friday, which I don't know why. I don't really understand, to be honest. But yeah, here we are. Anyways, still trying to remember, but yeah, so found some time pockets to find some more silence during the day, and honestly, I highly recommend finding some time every day to just be engulfed in silence. You know, just have it be you and your mind together in the same room, nothing else. It's probably going to be a little uncomfortable at first, and you're going to be very bored, most likely. But you know, after a while, you get used to it, and really, it's very beneficial, at least for me. So if it works well for me, and I'm just kind of an average Joe in a lot of ways, I'm sure it'll work out for you as well. So yeah, this doesn't mean I'm going to be just driving in silence to work every day, but you know, I'll still listen to my podcast. But whenever I'm just not in the mood, or I'm kind of feeling I want to have some more silence in my day, if I feel like I haven't been getting enough lately, you know, I'll just drive to work in silence. That's what I'll do. But yeah, I guess I can kind of branch off to the next topic I can talk about. Again, didn't really have close to any thoughts today. I didn't finish up my actual workload for the day until about 4:50. So when I eventually finished up and I had 10 minutes left in my work day to kind of think on what I would talk to you guys about today, the first thing that kind of came to mind was, you know, just kind of how my day went. And I do think that, although I will be talking a little bit about me today, that you know, you can learn potentially a lot from what I did today, even though it was probably something very ordinary. But figured, why not, right? Wing it day, why not? So today, again, I mentioned it was a very good work week. Had some very good times, but at the same time had a lot of challenges, which again, they kind of suck in the moment, but looking back, it just makes the week even greater, right? Because you're getting smarter, you're getting better. Yeah. So today was also a day with challenges, a good amount at that. And so I went into my lunch being, quite honestly, pretty stressed out and in my own head about everything. And normally during lunch I like to detach and kind of just kind of reset and let my mind just flow and wander wherever it chooses to, and you know, just kind of reset myself and put myself in a good state of being and frame of mind for the second half of the workday. But you know, with the way that things worked out today, everything worked out good in the end, as it always does. So I'm all good. Don't worry about me. But in the moment during lunch, I couldn't, you know, escape my mind. I was very stressed and in my own head, and really just kind of being very dreadful, if I'm honest, about going back to work after lunch and resuming, you know, what I was doing earlier. I don't recommend doing it because it wasn't fun in the moment, but again, you get past it and everything works out as it always does, and you can look back and analyze and learn from everything. So yeah, that's what I did, is I finished up everything and I was looking back, I was analyzing, and I'm trying to pick out stuff to learn from. And I was thinking about how what I just told you guys about how I was just being very in my own head and dreadful and stressed during lunch, when really I try to do the exact opposite. But today that wasn't the case. And thinking about how I could have, done something better to make the situation better for myself in the moment. And it reminded me of this one podcast that I heard a couple days ago. And it was this guy who was talking about how to better manage and optimize your workday. And one of the things he said that stuck out to me is that, say if you're having what you think is a bad workday, again, because everything that we think is simply a perception, everything that we think and that we experience and that we see in our own personal reality is nothing but our perception of everything. But he said that if you think you're having, a bad day at work, at any time you can literally just start over. Just start over, press pause, restart. Sure, you had say a rough first 5 hours of the workday, but at any time it can be 10 a.m., it can be noon, it could be as late as say 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon when you're almost done. But at any point you can press pause and restart your workday and turn everything around for the better. And it's something that you totally have the power to do every day. And I like that a lot. And that's honestly kind of what I did by accident a little bit, was because got back from lunch, again, was in no way excited to get back to work and continue what I was doing. But I got back from lunch and started working again, and things started going pretty smooth, pretty quick. And I was able to, again, by kind of complete coincidence, by accident, just kind of restart the workday and make it better from then on. And it ended, quite well, to be honest. The whole second half of the workday was actually pretty good, much better than the first half. So yeah, I guess I kind of want to relay that message to you. If there's anyone that's watching this and they're working or they're in any sort of similar spot, it could be totally different, but you can kind of pull that same lesson of, say if you're having a bad day or a bad whatever you're doing, you can always just press pause, detach, and press restart, kind of like a video game. I know for me, I played a lot of, say, like racing games growing up. That was kind of what was up my alley. I don't really play video games anymore, but when I did, I was a big racing game guy, and I was always I either had to be first at the race, or it just didn't count. So I remember if I had a bad race or I didn't come in first before the race ended, I would always just press pause, restart the race, and redo it until I was successful, until I was first place. I won, and I was satisfied with that, and I was successful. So yeah, kind of relating to video games to make it maybe a little more digestible for you guys. You can literally do quite the same thing in real life. And again, it doesn't have to be at work, but at least for me and where my life is at right now, it is. But yeah, I just thought that was something that was pretty cool that, again, I used today, be it by accident, coincidence, but by all means, you guys can use it too. And quite honestly, it helped me out a lot today. Just thinking that I was having a bad day, realizing it, and then as soon as momentum started to shift, detach from everything, pause, restart, reset, and just say, I'm not going to have, I'm not going to let, say, this one thing or my first half of the day, let it determine how the rest of my day goes, and potentially past that. I'm not going to let it define how I defined today. I'm going to let whatever happens next. I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna flip the switch, and I'm gonna do everything I can, and everything I can, outside of myself and also within myself, to make it a better day. Perceive this day as being a good day instead of a bad day. You can totally do that. And that's kind of what I'm planning on doing after today. Anytime I think I'm perceiving that I'm having a bad day for whatever reason, I'm gonna pause, detach, restart, and clean slate, and then just start to have a good day by whatever means necessary. So yeah, also, I gotta cut this video in half. I gotta get food for myself tonight. I kind of also have to get gas too. I'm honestly starting to run a little low, but we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a game time decision. So yeah, just a heads up, I'm gonna be cutting this in a minute so I can go get some food for myself, because the boys have got to eat. So yeah, I'll do that, regain thoughts, and come back to you guys in a minute. But before I do that, there's one more thing that just entered my mind. I do really like, even though it's not always the easiest thing or the thing that I'm the best at times, I really do enjoy, and I find a lot of meaning in making these videos for you guys. And really, I think the reason behind it is that they're very, it helps me. I try to help you guys as much as I can grow, in every aspect of your lives. But doing that, it also does the same thing for me. It allows me to grow really infinitely. And what I really like about it, and part of it which keeps me going and keeps me doing this, is because I feel that what I'm doing is very pure, and it's very authentic. You're not getting, when you watch these videos, you're not getting some business or some character or persona. You're getting me. You're never getting anything that's not just purely authentically me. And I think that means a lot, both for myself and for you guys watching. And yeah, I think that just being authentic and feeling authentic really is a big part in really being happy at the end of each and every day. I think it really just goes a long way in putting you in a very good, a very high vibration, which really, if you've seen a certain past video, you know what I'm talking about, but really, it's really one of the best things you could ever do for yourself. So with that, I'm gonna cut it, get some food, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, I'm back. I had some thoughts, and honestly, as soon as I press record, as always, they seem to leave my head. But yeah, so what I was thinking back on the 3 S's: sweat, sunlight, and silence. And if you can get those 3 things every day, 99% of your problems can be solved. And I'm not going to talk too much more about it, but in short, I really like that, and I think it's quite true. And then that connected me to this thing, a running thought that I had earlier this week. And I mentioned in an earlier video that you should do what makes you happiest and what excites you and fills you with the most passion and meaning and purpose. And you should, with the opposite, vice versa, you shouldn't do the things that don't give you that. But I think that there is like a twist, like a caveat might be the right word to that, and that I also think it's very true, and I deeply believe that yes, you should do those things that give you the most passion and meaning and purpose and pleasure, but at the same time you should also do things that you really don't want to do, and that yeah, I'll just leave it at that, things that you don't want to do as well. And my reasoning behind that is that there's a lot of things that you may not want to do, and again, everyone's list is different, and I'm sure it goes on and on for everyone, but there's all right. That happened, but let me recash my train of thought. But yeah, in doing difficult things, that there's a very big benefit to be had. I guess if you do the right difficult things in the right way. For me, my life is very different from everyone else's, but for me, my biggest example of this, and of course it was a running thought for me because I was running. I enjoy going to the gym. I'm not always in the mood to say go to the gym, but I'm always in much more of a mood to go to the gym than say go on a run. Running is something that I like to do quite a lot, but I never like, getting ready for it or having to do it in the future, or especially in the moment, doing it in the moment. I never like it then, and it doesn't make me happy then. But after, when it's all said and done, that after run feeling for me is what makes it all worth it. And so yeah, that's my example of doing stuff that you don't want to do, and they also play a major role in your life. And there's a million other examples I can list out, but I think one that is the biggest for me, and I'm sure other people can relate to a lot, is say exercising and pushing yourself and challenging yourself in terms of exercise. It's because it may suck before and during, in the moment, but then after, it's one of the best feelings and one of the best things you can do for yourself. And I think a good way to describe it is it's a very strong feeling of pleasure when you're all done with, say, your workout or your run or anything that you do. And I think that there's a big difference in happiness and pleasure. And as good as happiness is, you should always seek out the things which give you pleasure, and not happiness. And my reasoning behind that is that happiness is very short term. It's something that can be achieved very easily, and it's very short term. It's never very long lasting. It's always in the moment, and then just as soon as you can get it, it can disappear. With pleasure is something that's much more difficult to achieve, but once it is achieved, it lasts really infinitely longer than how happiness lasts. Say to give you an example, if I'm having, say, like what I think, again, because it's all in your head, but what I think is a bad day, say at work, to easily turn myself around, I can say during my lunch break, go on my phone and put on like a cool YouTube video or play some game or do something on my phone, and it'll brighten my mood up. It'll make me happy, temporarily. And then, say I put my phone down and go back to work, and then I'm kind of right back in the same spot. Versus, for example, and this isn't something that I do, again, because I just don't do it, but I know some people that do it, and I'm sure they can attest to what I'm about to say, is that if you're in that same spot going into your lunch break at work, and instead of going on your phone for however long your break is, you can say get a little workout in, or go on a little shakeout run. And again, I'm sure you don't want to do it, right? They're never fun leading up to, and in the moment they're never fun. But then after workout feeling, after exercise, after run feeling, would really rejuvenate you for the entire rest of the day. You'll be in a much better mood and state of mind and just state of being from, say, going on a run during your lunch break than just going on your phone for however long. And yeah, so kind of connecting back to choosing pleasure over happiness. Pleasure, it's harder to get, but it lasts much longer, and it really has a much more positive impact on yourself. And again, the thing about pleasure is that almost all the time it comes from doing difficult things. But because of that, and because it's so much powerful than what happiness is, and how before I said, you know, you should do things that fill you with passion and meaning and purpose and everything in between. Yes, absolutely, you should. But at the same time, you should also do difficult and challenging things and things that get you outside of your comfort zone, because kind of what I was alluding to earlier is that it may suck before and in the moment, but then once you do what you do and you're successful and you make it out the other end, really the benefits far outweigh those of whatever you did to make yourself happy, you know. So as with all things in life, it's all a balance, right? You have to do things that make you happy, and you have to do easy things, but you also have to do things that, you know, give you pleasure, that say don't make you happy in the moment, but you know that in the long term it's very good for yourself to do those things. So with that, I just pulled into my driveway now. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave all that there. I think that's a good spot to end on. But yeah, just know that there's a lot more to it than you think. Always push the status quo. Never accept anything that you don't truly, deeply like and believe in. Challenge that stuff, you know. Test everything out for yourself and see what you really think about everything and what your truth is to everything. And live your life around that, right? It's your life, it's not anyone else's. Live it how you want. So yeah, reach out if you have any questions or suggestions. Remember, there's a lot more to it than you think. And yeah, I'll see you Monday. Bye.